There is one setup that I've been using for the past 6 months that is very easy, very reliable, and the reason why I'm able to make consistent profits. It's easy because all it requires is understanding one simple trading approach. The reason why most traders fail is the lack of simplicity. The harder you try to make trading work using complicated strategies and fancy indicators, the worse it gets for you. So in today's video, I'm going to give you the entire strategy framework, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to execute this strategy through live and back-tested examples so you can gain confidence in the market. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, so we're at the beginning of New York session. It just opened up. Now the first thing you want to do is top-down analysis. This is the way we figure out which way we need to trade for today, right? So top-down analysis. So we're going to start off on the H4 and the H1. We're going to draw up support and resistance zones. If you don't know what support and resistance is, it's basically just a ceiling and a floor that price keeps bouncing off of. So always at the top is resistance and always at the bottom is support. If price breaks through and then comes back and retests, then support turns into resistance. Same thing for the top. If we break above and then come back down and touch it, now resistance became support, right? But all we're looking for is where price is kind of like ping-ponging rejection, showing a reaction at these zones. So if we zoom out, right, we can see some support and resistance zones all over the place. So we see one right here. We see one right here, right? So we see them all over the place. And we're going to use these zones to know which way to trade. Okay, so we got those zones. Let's see if we can find any more. I always want to zoom out to see. I would say maybe right here. We'll have to double check that. Then you want to go to the H1 to verify it. Okay, yeah, these zones look very good. So you can see how every time we tap it, we go to the next one. We're ping-ponging in between them, right? Until we break through, then we ping-pong through the next ones, right? So that's usually how it works 90% of the time. You see how we bounce? We're ping-ponging in between. See how we bounce off this? If we drag this out, look at this. We're bouncing, ping-ponging in between, right? So this is how we know which way to trade. Since we broke above, we're rejecting the bottom. We know to be looking for buys up to this area, right? So we're going to go to the 5-minute. Zoom in, right? So now we're at the beginning of New York session. So I see this zone. Move it down a little bit just so you can see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this gap right here, right? So we had a demand push, right? Supply and demand is the name of the game. It's what you want to trade. Trust me, I tried every strategy. Supply and demand is where it's at, right? So supply and demand is very simple, quick 3-minute breakdown. Demand is when multiple candles the same color showing momentum are going in one direction, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 candles the same color, no reds in between, showing momentum, breaking structure, right? It's looking good. Now demand means buy, supply means sell. So what is this? A supply zone. We have multiple red candles going down, no green candles in the middle, so it's a supply zone showing momentum, meaning a big player entered the market and pushed it down. A big player entered the market, pushed it up, right? Demand zone, demand zone, demand zone, supply zone, right? Very simple. Don't overcomplicate this. So after we get a demand push, then we ask ourselves, did we break structure? Yes, we broke all this structure right here. We have multiple structures being broken, right? So we broke multiple structures. If you don't know what a breaker structure is, check out any other one of my videos and we go over breaker structure, right? It's basically just a new higher high. The price likes to move in higher highs and higher lows, right? And when we have a breaker structure, what does that mean? We broke the pattern. We were making higher highs and higher lows, and instead of making a higher low, we made a lower low and a lower high, which is a breaker structure, right? Very simple. I have lots of videos on it. Yeah, so after we have that breaker structure, we ask ourselves, was there a gap attached to the demand push? So we zoom in and ask ourselves, first, how do we figure out a gap, right? So we go to the beginning of the demand push and we say, is there any parts where the wicks are not touching, right? So if you look at the top of this red candle, we draw a line, and then we skip the middle candle, go to the third candle, draw a line at the bottom of that, right? Are these lines overlapping? No, there's not. So there's a gap in the market that needs to be filled. And what are we going to do once we find that gap? We get a rectangle. We're going to draw from the first line that we drew down to the bottom of the swing low. I'm counting this as my swing low because it's a red candle. So I'm putting this to the swing low, or you could put it down here, or you could put it down here, but I'm going to put it right here because this red candle is good enough for me to count it as a swing low. So now all I'm doing is waiting for price to come here and enter the trade. So if I put a position right here, a little bit before, a little bit after, going for a 1 to 3 every time, right? So this is our setup, right? Now, if you need more in-depth details of everything that I just went through, I have a free course down below, and I also offer one-on-one mentorship where I'm literally going to hold your hand and take you step by step to profitability in under 45 days. And it's guaranteed, meaning if you don't get profitable in 45 days, I will work with you until you are profitable. But anyways, let's forward this trade and see if it plays out. It should play out. I see this every single day. It's the same thing. Okay, boom, we tapped in right here, right? And we just skyrocketed to TP. Look at that. Oh my God, that's beautiful. How high did this go? Oh my God, that is out of here. That is out of here. The crazy part is my student, Jalen, who's in my inner circle, who's in my one-on-one mentorship, caught this trade on 3 funded accounts, bro. He ate off that, meaning he's going to withdraw those profits and basically just pay back the mentorship that he invested into. Like, bro, I'm so proud of bro. But anyways, let's continue on. So yes, he hit this straight to TP. This went for all the way a 1 to 10. That's ridiculous. Did it stop right there? Yeah, I think so. That's a fire trade. This happens every day, bro. Every day I'm catching these trades, right? I go for a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5 sometimes. You know, if you can hold up here, then you're just a beast. But I do 1 to 3, 1 to 4. So that is a quick example. Let's go look for some more. Okay, so now we're at the beginning of the previous New York session. So let's see it set up. Hopefully it sets up. But it usually sets up at the same time. So, okay, boom. We got a demand push, right? Check number 1. So first thing we're looking for is the higher time frame zone to get tapped. Right now, this is the same zone that I just drew up before, right? The good thing about these zones is you can reuse them over and over until it breaks through, right? So I didn't even need to go on the higher time frame this time. So we tapped it, and now we got a demand push, right? So we got 2 things checked off our list. We asked ourselves, did we break structure? Yes, we did. We broke it right here, right? Boom. Price was making lower lows and lower highs, and then we made a higher high, right? So we got to break a structure, right? So if you don't know what that looks like, lower low, lower high, lower low, and now we made a higher high. We broke structure, meaning we broke the pattern. We were supposed to make a lower high and then go lower, but instead we made a higher high. So now we can anticipate price coming down to make a higher low and then make a new higher high and change directions, right? So that's what we're hoping for. So now that we have a break of structure, demand push, higher time frame being respected, we ask ourselves, was there a gap? Yes, there was. There's a gap right here. Right, this top of the candle is not touching the bottom of the 3rd candle right there, meaning we have a gap, meaning we can draw a rectangle and wait for an entry. So we put our stops right there, boom. So this is our box right here that we're looking to take. Entry right there, a little bit above, a little bit below. 1 to 3. So now we can enter aggressive, or we can enter on break of the candle. We'll see what happens when it gets there. And if you want a reliable broker that you can trade MT4 on, then you're going to want to go with Henko Trade. I've been with them for years, and they're the only ones that I trust with a large amount of money. So I'll put my affiliate links down below. If you want to trade with the people that I recommend, then go to the description, click that link, and sign up. Let's get back to the video. Okay, we got tapped in right there. What is this? Okay. Okay, boom. TP hit right there. Beautiful, beautiful. We got tapped in. Right, and then you notice in these trades, bro, you're not really getting too much drawdown. Every once in a while, you know, you'll get drawdown, but for the most part, it's going to tap you in perfectly and then just fly, bro. It's like sniper entries and sniper exits. I'm telling you, bro, it's ridiculous. So we tapped in, we flew straight to TP. Look at that. Oh, my God, that was beautiful. 1 to 3, right? Hit, we're done for the day. Boom. It's literally that simple. Every day this trade happens almost at the same time. Back to back to back. This shit is ridiculous, bro. So use everything that I'm teaching you right here, and you can change your life, bro. I'm seeing students do it every day. I've done it myself. You can do this too, bro. This is the only strategy you need. In the last trade, we hit our 1 to 3, 1 to 4. This one's a 1 to 3. So we're up about 6-7% just on 2 trades, meaning you would have to lose 7 times back to back just to be at break even, not even in a loss. And we're not losing 7 times back to back. We don't do that. But imagine you would have held it for longer, right? Because that last one went to like a 1 to 15. Imagine you would have held it to a 1 to 10. Now you got to lose 10 times just from one trade, bro. And it's crazy, bro. It really could get crazy once you know what to look for and once you be disciplined and wait for that setup, right? And don't fall for the fake outs. Like some people would have rushed in and try to enter right here. No, it did not tap our box yet, so we're waiting, right? So you just got to be disciplined with everything. But now let's get into the live trade so you can see it in action. So I promised you guys a live trade recap. So here it is right here. This is a trade that I took this morning, and we're just going to go through it and let you know what I seen. I literally used everything that I explained in this video, right? Because this setup happens every day. This is my bread and butter, right? So if you look at the screen right here, you can tell that the demand setups are working. This is something I don't see a lot of traders talking about. You should look in the past and see what supply and demand setups are working, right? So if you can tell right here, supply setups keep losing and demand setups keep winning, right? So that's an extra confluence that you can add to this, right? If you notice that in the past hour or two, demand setups are just hitting and supply zones are just losing, strong confluence, right? Not to mention we have the trend line break, we have the higher time frame zones, we have a break of structure, we have a gap, and we have a demand push, right, with a nice rejection and break of the candle. So everything is looking great. Now, you don't see all that on there. I just have the box, right? But trust me, everything is there. If you go back and mark up this trade, you'll see everything that I explained in this video. But we're getting a nice push right now. If you see my total P&L is negative 1,500, and you're probably thinking like, why? Because I took a trade last night during London and I lost. It happens, bro. Every strategy you're going to lose, you're going to win. But if you have high risk to reward, the losses do not matter, right? So you're about to see me make back my loss plus extra. When you're trading high risk to reward, meaning you're holding for a 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 5, right? Losses don't matter no more because this 1% loss is nothing because the next trade I'm going to make 3, 4, 5%. So you can see we're getting a great push right here. So we're about to make all that loss back right now. We're literally down negative $200 when we were just $1,500 in negative. We're getting a good push right now. It's looking good. Let's forward this a little bit. All right, right here you can see we had a really strong retracement. Now this comes when you're trading high risk to reward, right? You got to know what comes with this. There's always going to be retracements, right? You can't just go straight to a 1 to 4 or straight to a 1 to 5, even though most of the time that does happen. But every now and then there has to be a retracement. It has to breathe before it can keep going, right? So this is it right here, and we're getting a great push. You'll usually see that after a retracement, you'll get that strong push, right? As long as you're aligned with the higher time frame, it's gonna go up, right? So you can see we're up almost $1,000 in total P&L, and the trade is running for $2,100. So we already made back our loss, and we're up $700. So let's forward this a little bit. All right, now we're starting to break that little resistance zone that was giving us problems and causing that retracement and all that. So now that we're starting to break it, we should just head to TP. Currently up $3,000 on the trade, $1,700 in P&L. Let's forward this a little bit. We get another retracement, right? Comes with it. You can see right here, we start getting this rejection at this zone. And this is a prop firm challenge. It's not my funded account. So I know I could only make 4,500 with Take Profit Trader before I break the consistency rule. So I'm getting ready to close. And we're talking about 4,500 P&L, right? We're not talking about open trade, right? So I'm looking at the P&L and I'm like, okay, I'm getting close to 4,500. So I need to get ready to close. And we're getting a rejection from this area. That's letting me know I need to close soon. You can see the trade's running at $5,000. So I'm really about to close it because I'm like, it's not worth risking breaking the consistency rule just for a couple $100. We're already up like, what is that? Like a 1 in 3, 1 in 4. Now, if this was my funded account, I would keep holding this trade, right? Because we have a huge gap that needs to be filled to the left. So I would definitely keep holding this trade, but I do end up closing it right here. Okay, boom, closed it right there. Got a $3,500 profit. With that rejection, I was just like, it's not worth it. I can't make very much anyways, right? So yeah, it was a good trade, and it had everything that I just explained in this video. Now, I did take this trade on multiple accounts, and that's the beauty of copy trading, right? Just because you see me trading 5 prop firm challenges doesn't mean I'm not taking this on 20, 30 real funded accounts. So I suggest you start copy trading because you can risk $100 on one account, but if you copy trade that to 20 accounts, now you're making $2,000 from risking $100. So that's when you really start getting crazy and you really start making money, right? Imagine if I risk $1,000 on this account, but I took it on 20 accounts, you just made $20,000 from risking 1,000. So take everything that I just taught you, pass some challenges, get the payouts, put that into more challenges, now start copy trading, and that's how you build an empire. That's how you change your life. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.